Hi, Michael Canellis with Green Tech Media here, and today we're going to talk to Sustainable Spaces. What they do is they go into your home and they check out the energy efficiency, how much heat you're using and how much heat you should be using. Now the house they're going to look at today is my own house. It was built in 1931 and it's almost not insulated whatsoever.
One of the first things that we're doing is taking measurements of the home. We do a footprint of the home. We pretty much do a architectural takeoff. And so we're looking at the window to wall ratios, so we see how much window space there is per wall space. We also get the side-by-side measurements, front to back measurements, ceiling heights. And then we look at all your mechanical equipment. So we're going to be looking at your furnace, your ductwork. We look at all those systems, how efficiently they're performing. We also test flows, how much airflow is actually going to each room if you have a forced air furnace. As heat rises, it has to make up the air that is displacing, and when it does that, it pulls from those leakage points, and so you're getting a lot of unhealthy air in the house.
How bad are most homes?
It really depends on your region, but most homes that we test are pretty bad. I mean, even new homes we find tend to have the same issues that any existing home would have.
Well, let's take a look here. We've got the toolbox.
Okay. Here we have some of our more basic tools, and these are things that we use on site pretty much all the time. This is a combustion gas detector. This device here will tell us if there's any gas leaks, and so we use this to actually go around the entire length of the gas line. We're looking at trying to determine, what's in the wall cavity. So this is a little camera end with a light on it, and we can actually put this inside wall cavities and look in the wall cavity and look at other places to see if there is insulation there or the level of grading of the insulation. And this is a thermal imaging camera. So what we're able to do with this is look at temperature differentials. Right now you can see where this little where the little crosshairs are. That little blue line, that's cold. The darker, the colder. The lighter, the warmer. And so we can see all these dark spots. Where those dark spots are, there is leakage, air leakage. So this is our Minneapolis blower door. What we use this device for is to test the envelope of the house. And we call the envelope of the house the shell of the house. Anything that separates us from the outdoor. So really, we consider outdoor space anything that you're not conditioning. So really, your attic would be considered outdoors or outside the building envelope. Then we turn the fan up. And what we're essentially doing is depressurizing your house. So we're creating a vacuum effect. We're going to be pulling air out of your chimney, out of all the leakage points in the house, and we get a number that we can then correlate to natural air changes per hour. And so once we have that number, then we can turn the fan down, it will reverse the flow, and we'll pressurize the house. And we pressurize the house to go around and pinpoint certain leaks. One of the key areas that we found in your home, and what's pretty common, we pull off the register cover. And if we're looking down in here, you can see this is the boot. This is where all the air is delivered from. And you can see these large gaps all the way around.
Oh yeah, it's like half inch on one side.
Right, and here you can even see down into the garage. One of the techniques that we would use is to seal this boot to all the sheet metal in there. Most of the time we see duct tape on systems, which ironically was never intended for ductwork. It fails pretty quickly.
Called that. Oh, wow.
It's just called that. This return comes back to the furnace. Down here on your return, you can see these connections aren't sealed. But here's your filter.
I haven't changed it in a year. I didn't know where it was.
So that's what we see on your filter.
Bad. Okay.
That's pretty bad stuff. As that warm air rises, it creates a positive pressure up here. It escapes through can lights. It escapes through skylights.
Yeah, the cobwebs mean there's air right there.
So we can see some cobwebs in the skylight here. Now, cobwebs are a good first indicator of leakage, and the reason being that spiders like to build their webs in areas of wind because that's where a lot of insects go.
How bad is this?
Well, again, this is pretty average for San Francisco. This is what we see, especially in this area. No wall insulation, no attic insulation, no floor insulation. Those are pretty typical things, and in our moderate climate, we can get away with some of that. But your home can be much more efficient just by fixing those building fundamentals, sealing up the building envelope, insulating the wall cavities, attic, and possibly even your floor. But just really separating the unconditioned space from the conditioned space and defining that thermal envelope, and that's really what we try to do.
Okay.